So for the last few months, I've been comparing the Jetboil Zip and the Alpkit Brew Kit on lots of little journeys, going out and doing stuff and just comparing them like for like. It's pretty difficult to compare, and before the comments section lights up, yeah, they're two very different sized kettles, but they're fairly similar in many ways. In fact, some people might say that this is probably more comparable to the Flash. But then again, the Flash has got many more features and is way beyond the price range of this. You know, these are $49.99 at the moment. I picked this up for $39.99 in the sale. These are about 80 quid, whereas the Zip is around about the Flash, sorry, is about £120. So I'll do a little bit of a comparison around each. The Outkit Brew Kit is quite well designed, comes with these nice nifty handles, a good lid that seals with a little drinking spot or pouring spot if you want to involved in it. Something extra that comes with the Brew Kit that you don't get with others is this nifty little pot holder that goes on top. If you were to put a normal pot on top of the actual gas outlet, you'd burn the plastics below. So that's kind of rubbish. So that sets on top quite nicely so that it locks in place so that you can actually cook with a multitude of pots. The only thing I find with this is a little bit of salt water got into it and they've started to rust a little bit, which I wasn't quite keen on, but it does lock well into place. You just turn it around to get it to actually lock and it'll hold nicely once you've folded out all the fins, so that's quite nice. As an addition, because if you wanted to buy something like this for the Jetboil, it's another 40 quid on top. The actual Jetboil, the actual Alpkit base is quite nice because it does have a starter, which is quite nice. It helps out when you're trying to start your gas and you haven't forgotten your lighter. So in the morning it's quite easy, and as well as that, it's got just beyond 1 litre of volume in it, so it's quite good. And again, it comes to the little ladder feet that hold the gas can in place. So overall, really simplistic system, and actually works really well. Now, before you start lighting up the comment section again saying I've seen this before, this looks very familiar, yes, you're right. Outkit have basically subcontracted the creation of these to a company in China. So if you browse the internet, you will find a similar brand. They have created a similar fire maple, I think they're called, and they have exactly the same thing going, but theirs is about 60 quid. So, you know, for $49.99, Outkit are probably making a loss in the creation of this, or at least in doing over a little bit of fire maple seals. But fire maple make a few models. This is very similar to their cheaper model, but actually they're both really good. I have a fire maple stove. I've just given it to someone to try out, and it's actually really good. I've used it a few times and I quite like it, and it's very similar to this. It just doesn't come with the little pot stand on top, so you get an extra bonus with it, which is great. In terms of performance, yeah, it's a bit slow heating the water up, I personally find. If you boil some water in this, although you get all the bells and whistles, you can spark it up pretty quickly. It does take a good minute, maybe 2, to boil, depending on the temperature of the day, so it takes quite a while to get heated up. But for £39, well, 49 if you buy it, it's really good value. I think it does the job. The size, I find, is a little bit of a problem sometimes, especially if I'm trying to go streamlight. I kayak a lot, so in a canoe it's perfect, but in a kayaking it's a little bit tricky, so it's always good to have you know, this in mind for a bigger boat perhaps. For smaller camping it just doesn't quite work, but it's still, for the money, it's really good value. Oh, and it comes with a little bag to store it all in. I don't know how good that's going to be, but you know, so far it's actually really good. Does the job. In comparison, the Jetboil Zip is, again, really nifty, small, compact, much smaller in comparison than this. So for kayaking days out, it kind of fits perfectly into a little hatch with a load of gear in it, and it's quite nice. It comes with a little spoon holder attached to it as well, which is quite nice. The handle is this webbing, so there's no way it's going to rust or deform. It's sort of connected, and you can take the whole sleeve off to wash the inner can. Comes with, as all Jetboils do, this little cup at the bottom. It does have measuring notes inside it, so you can actually measure if you're cooking something, or if you have to put a certain amount of water into like a dry mixed food. Again, exactly the same as the brew kit. It has sort of that heat exchanger here to keep it sort of from overheating at the bottom. A nifty little lid, which of course you can drink out of if you really want to, or pour water through nicely. It comes with a similar sort of burner on the base. It doesn't come with an attachment so you can use other pots, so be aware if you do put another pot on top, it'll melt all these plastics. Don't do that. Big downside, it doesn't come with something to light this, so you can turn on your gas, but unless you need to remember to bring a lighter with you. I've had that problem before where I forgot a lighter, but I did have a striker, so I ended up having to use my fire kit striker to actually get it going, and it did work, which was really good. And it was surprising how quickly it heated things up. I was really impressed. So quite a good little thing. It's quite small and compact, so really good. It comes with the legs as standard, which of course hold on to the pot. Now this is my big problem with the Jetboil. This takes 500 milliliters, just a bit more, about 750 overall, up to the rim, which is a good amount for most meals that you're going to get. But Jetboil recommend you have to use their little jet power gas canisters, which here in Northern Ireland are like gold dust. I had to buy these when I was over in England recently and bring them back. And I've got about 5 of them left. The problem with that is, of course, once that's gone, and if you can't get them because of shortages, then I believe the Jetboil warranty won't cover you if you've used like Coleman gas or something, I think. And something to do with the mixture in this, it's much better. I'm not so sure because I can't see any difference, but it does say it'll use through 4 seasons, even in really cold weather. Not all cans will do that. I think with Coleman ones, you have to buy the performance ones to get them to work in winter. So that's something to bear in mind. But apart from that downside, it's really compact. Price wise, I think it's really expensive for what it is. It's a basic burner made of plastic, which obviously is probably made in similar factories to the brew kit. Jetboil proved me wrong. It connects really nicely. It does everything that the flash does, except it doesn't have the measure on the side. On the flash, you actually see the color changing, so the water's about to boil. You don't get that here. You have to look out for the lid going, and it kind of whistles, which is quite nice. But at the same time, 85, 90 quid is pretty expensive for what it is. It's good technology. It's obviously something to do with the burner itself, because that boils quickly, really quickly. Like, I am so impressed with how quickly it boils. Like, within about a minute, it's already piping hot and boiling and ready to go. So, and that's in winter. So actually, I find that it's quite a good bit of kit, and I quite like it that way. I think it's I begrudge the price, but at the same time, I really enjoy using it. It packs down really well when you work it out. That's everything in one place. It doesn't come with an nifty bag. It does have a cup to protect the heat exchanger, but actually that is pretty nifty. So overall, which would I recommend? I think they're both really good. For 50 quid, the sake of 50 quid, this is a really good buy. It's really good. Yes, it's not made by Alpkit. Yes, it's made by Fire, whatever it is, Fire Maple, but in China. But theirs is more expensive. So actually, this is a bargain at 49 quid. Alpkit have really, sealed it. They bought it from them. Yeah, okay, it's made by them. I don't know about the longevity of it, especially use in salty environments, whether it's really going to last. We'll see. I'll do a long-term test on it in the future. But for these, I just can't get past how good Jetboil is. But for 85 quid, I'm like, really? I don't know, but it's neat, it's tidy, it folds away, it lasts. So I don't know, I kind of think Jetboil wins on this one to an extent, but very close second, like almost neck and neck, is the Brew Kit, mainly because of value, a bit more size to it, and I think it's a great device. Longevity, and you can use any gas in this. It's brilliant that way, and it has a little pan adapter, so that's great for expeditioning. For this though, I just know it's going to last longer, and if it doesn't last longer, Jetboil, I can approach them and say, oi, problem here, and they're more likely to replace it. Whereas if I go to Brew Kit about this, they're going to go, yeah, well, because it's not made by them. Let me know in your comments what you think, which one you like most. If you use them, if you've had experience of using the Brew Kit, I'd love to hear what you go through. If you've had any problems with the zip, I'd be really happy to hear any of the problems you've had as well. So it's about dinner time at my campsite, so let's get cooking. I don't know which one I'll use.